Tech optimism turning into a nightmare. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, January the 11th. What's going on? Welcome back. I'm back. I was gone in Florida, trying to work under battle conditions through the week, but back in Las Vegas. And of course, the jobs number came out on Friday and not very good. Showed an increase of 50,000 jobs, but of course it revised negative 76,000 jobs. So another net loser. Markets didn't care; they continued to explode. But at the end of the day, this high-tech optimism is turning into a nightmare as we are watching the destruction of jobs on a day-to-day basis. You've got white-collar jobs being destroyed in record numbers. And again, what we have to remember is who is going to pay these people? How are these people going to live? Where are these people going to work? Because there are no more jobs. So that does bring the question of, will there be universal basic income? And of course, we all know who pays for the universal basic income. It is not the government. These are not entitlements. These are taxpayers. Okay, we have these entitlements that, of course, people believe that they're getting the money from the government, but you're getting the money from your fellow citizens. But at the end of the day, the AI is killing the white collar jobs. We've got over 100 companies, including Amazon, Nike, Facebook or Meta, that are going to lay off in 2026. Now, again, these jobs are not coming back. These jobs are disappearing forever. And what I want to know is, where are these people going to go? You have to take the psyche and the emotional balance of people that are not going to be working, and what are they going to do? Okay, I mean, we spend more time and we are spending more money. I mean, the AI, not only is it destroying jobs, okay, but it is raising the cost of living dramatically. The cost of residential electricity is surging, and it's not going to get any better. But of course, we could solve a lot of these problems if we would go to nuclear energy. But God forbid that the politicians could get enough graft of nuclear power instead of the wind and solar bullshit that we continue to deal with. But you've got so many things that are wrong. And of course, that does not also now brings into the play the collapse of the real estate market once again, because again, we go back to, it's not only the cost of the home, it is the cost of upkeep to the home that you bought. And of course, we've allowed too many investment companies to buy up all the housing, which now creates ridiculous cost because, of course, they can afford to hold, which brings your rents higher. So not only is your rent or your mortgage higher, and interest rates, again, have not gone down. Just if you're curious, when the Fed started cutting rates, the 10-year notes were 3.99. The 10-year notes now are 4.17. So once again, the bullshit of rate cuts is shown its ugly colors. Okay. Now, it's interesting in this country, I really don't understand how we have so many battles with the current president. You've got 5 states suing Trump over the freeze in childcare. I don't know where you all sit, but I know where I sit. Okay. And as a taxpayer, as an American, as a citizen, I am tired of my tax dollars going to fund programs that are illegal, or that are a waste, or that are being scammed. And all of those things are factual. Those are all things that happen each and every day, from the Somalian mess in Minneapolis to all the welfare and all the illegal immigration that I'm paying for. And I'm, quite frankly, don't want to pay for it. Okay. But you are seeing that in the state of California, you are seeing a pretty much of a mass exodus at the moment, because of course Gavin Newsom is now on to the tax the rich. Okay, and Larry Page is leaving. Uh, the billionaires are leaving, and it's interesting because the rich pay the most taxes. We have talked about this many times in the past. You want to fix the taxes and what everybody pays, you fix the tax code. Okay. You don't tax a select group because you're going to force them to leave. And of course, isn't it silly that in the high tax states, first of all, they are all on the left, which should tell you something. And you have a lot of exodus out of those states because, again, why would you want to pay an additional 10, 12, 13, 14% to live there? It doesn't make a lot of sense. The big question is, and was supposed to happen on Friday, but did not, will the Supreme Court rule against Trump's tariffs? What I'd like to know is why is the Supreme Court even involved? Okay. Again, I don't think that I think that tariffs are something that should be that are actually, quite frankly, have worked. They have not had any major effect on our economy. You can see that by the stock market if you want to continue to look at it. I mean, the worser effect on our economy has been what the Federal Reserve has done. The Federal Reserve, their policy has created higher inflation. Their policy is creating less jobs. So why are we worried about what the tariffs are? I'm thrilled that President Trump is trying to take back control of the world and get rid of all the shit. I mean, again, if you think that China is our friend, you are wrong. China is not our friend. China is an enemy. Okay. And I think that again, I think that taxing and tariffing these things should be the way it should go. So you can, again, you don't have to agree with me. It's quite all right. Unfortunately, I'm still a believer in free speech and what's going on here in America. But unfortunately, we don't have that belief by everybody. We have the destruction and the continued destruction of our rights, of our freedom, and of course, the process continues to take things away from the average American, destroying the free markets, destroying the opportunity for people to make a living, and of course, it continues to get worse. And again, you're watching some of this stuff happen in live time, and the whole political scene is totally ridiculous and broken down and needs to be fixed. We need to finally get someone to step up and say term limits. We need to get rid of these bad politicians, and that those are bipartisan on either side of the aisle. But we need to get people who want to run this country very much like the farmers ran it during the original Constitution and through the 1800s and early 1900s until Woodrow Wilson got scammed to build the Federal Reserve. But in the meantime, there are lots of issues with a market that is still rising. So we're not going to say the market's not going up, but you are in this very nasty K-shaped economy, and it is not getting better. It is getting worse. And if something doesn't happen soon, you will see a massive collapse. And this is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, January the 11th. We're going to step out here for a break and come back with our market report right after the break. Bubba's Bottom Line. What's up, kids? Hope everything's good. Hope you had a great week. And as you know, we have sponsors for the show, and our sponsors are mostly brokerage partners. And of course, we give you full disclosure. I do have other brokers, but the ones that we prefer, Trader Brokerage. Listen, it's $10 a month flat, saves me over $100,000 a year in commission. All of our automation ties to Trader, and certainly I think that you should check them out. Their information's below. Again, it does if you don't want to use them, that's fine. But I think you should check it out because anywhere you can save money is something that's money in your pocket. And of course, Capital Trading Group, which for your futures and commodities needs, we're partners with them on a good number of products as well. Check them out. And our new partnership with the Joy of Mom, and this is a place, an app and a website for moms who want to communicate with other moms on different circumstances and different things that they'd like to do. Check it out. Right now, the download is free, and it's something that we're building, and it's to help people, which is again what we believe in here, and of course our high school program, which is to help our children become more financially literate. In the meantime, let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line with me, Todd Bubba Horowitz, and our market report. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, January 11th. And well, we had a market that was once again made new highs in every index, but the Nasdaq. Again, is the Nasdaq going to catch up? Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. We're not thinking that the end is near, but the end is probably near. We look at a market that continues to fight higher, but again, it's very concentrated into a couple of stocks. And of course, when we find out of all the jobs we're losing and all the bad things that are going on, it could be problematic. The ruling on tariffs could be something that could be the trigger to finally get the sell off because of, so supposedly that money would have to be paid back. But at the end of the day, again, we don't fight markets, but I would certainly say that we are overextended and certainly would expect some sort of a pullback here. When you have ridiculously low volatility, you've got a lot of issues going on. There's nothing really exciting. A very poor jobs number, no matter how it was interpreted. Layoffs coming. Just a lot of little problems out there. But as we do look at the markets, as I said, the equities were higher again last week, pushing to continue to push to new highs, and we'll see how they play out. Certainly, we would be looking for, as a trading standpoint. Remember, we talk as a trader or as an investor from a trading standpoint. We'd be looking to potentially sell here a little bit and take some, look for some pullback. But again, the S&P, NASDAQ, and S&P, Russell, and Dow are on all-time new highs. The dollar, as we said to be a buyer at 98 cents, is now almost 99. I think it'll probably get a chance to run to a dollar. The euro currency, which we told you to sell at 118, is now 116 and change. Look for it to go all the way down to probably 116. Bonds and notes didn't get much action off of the jobs, but again, the futures continue to fall, which means interest rates can continue to rise. Certainly, we'd look to be a seller of the 10-year notes at 113, and we'd look to be a seller of the 30-year bonds at 117. Bitcoin is back below that 92,000 that it broke out above, but it is probably now churning between 88 and 95. Uh, Gold pushed up once again, 4,500. Not quite an all-time new high, but certainly something to look at. I think it's a little bit overextended. Silver back around 80. Looking, again, very much in consolidation as well. Platinum churning again in consolidation, but all of them are very, very strong here. That just points you to the massive amounts of debt and the inflation. And of course, that's why you see not only is it there's some panic in buying it right now, but you see there's reasoning behind it as well. Copper, as we said the other day, to sell at $6 is back to about 590. Look for copper to pull back to about 560. The grain markets, they continue to struggle. A little bit of a better week, but nothing all that exciting that I would say that, hey, I got to jump in. But certainly, if I were going to make a trade, I would be a buyer of the grain markets. Cattle came down below that 235 level. Still very challenging and tough to trade. And certainly, we're coming into a seasonally more bullish time of year. So I'd be careful there. Hogs did break from our 86 level and would be a seller again at 86. Nat gas has got below our 320 level now and really crashing. Again, this has got a lot to do with some of the fundamentals of weather and whatever. I would look to be a buyer at nat gas at about $3, and crude oil pushed higher. Looks like it's trying to break out, but I think 60 is a sell. I think we're targeting our next stop down below at 55. But at the end of the day, again, I think the markets, they're thinly traded, so it makes it more challenging. I wouldn't get too aggressive on anything here, but I will warn that there are so many warning signs out there, and there are so many issues out there. It doesn't matter what we're doing now, and I'm not recommending you do anything crazy today, but I am telling you to be very careful here because this is always the sign when the greatest euphoria comes in is normally the end of that particular move. So just be very careful, be very cautious. Certainly from a trading standpoint, I'll be looking to trade from the short side for the most part. But as we do, we'll give you actionable ideas every day during the week. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line, Top Bubba Horowitz. We'll step out here for our final break and come back with, of course, my commentary. All right, kids, just a reminder, our trading partners are Trade Your Brokerage, Capital Trading Group, The Joy of Mom, our high school program. And let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and my commentary right now. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday. It is uh, January the 11th. And of course, we continue to follow this ridiculous story in Minneapolis. Again, I don't understand the issues. I don't understand why our leaders, especially on the left, continue to try to sue Donald Trump instead of trying to make things better. You have to ask yourself, why are your politicians wasting time, money, and effort when we have so many problems in this country? Why are they trying to fix their own problems? It's why are we wasting all this time and money on going after President Trump because they don't like him? Wouldn't it make more sense to invest that time and that energy in fixing the problem instead of trying to create a new problem? Okay. You already see the theft and the graft and the criminality in Minneapolis and in California and many other states. And they're not just in the Democrat states, they're in all states, but this is the bigger problem. Why aren't we fixing it and taking care of our own people instead of worrying about everybody else? I think that our whole system has broken down. And I think that it needs to be revamped, but it has to start with you. It has to start with you, the voter, you, the taxpayer, because right now they're taking our money, flushing it down the toilet with Social Security running out of money, and it will be out of money in 6 years. Now they'll fix it. But when you know what fixing it means, it means that you're going to be paying more tax dollars. And again, I'm not in favor of paying more taxes, especially when we don't have to. Think about that as you get ready for the new year. And remember, this is Bubba's Bottom Line. And as always, we appreciate you being here. And if you're a football fan, we have a number of games today. We do like the Jacksonville Jaguars. We do like the Los Angeles Chargers. And we do like tomorrow night. We like the Houston Texans. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks so much. Bubba's Bottom Line. We'll see you tomorrow with Bubba's Daily Update.